It's Yu-Gi-Oh time! Hello and welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the Revoltech Yu-Gi-Oh 5D's Junk Warrior. Yusei Fuudo's early boss monster. I say early because he had to get his Stardust Dragon back, but don't sleep on the Junk Warrior. And really you start off the entire Junk archetype, which I'm a big fan of. I love me some 5D's, and the Junk Warrior has a sleek design. Even though he never had really much of meta relevance, it's a cool card, and it's a classic anime monster. So let's have a look at it. So I'm doing the unboxing part again, because some people said they like that. I don't know if I keep that up, but you know, this is always like a good time to remind you guys, thank you very much for watching, and if you're watching, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And don't forget to comment. Today's question is, who or which card is your favorite Junk character? I always was a fan of Junk Warrior. He's a good boy, gets a level 2 out of the graveyard. Anyway, this figure stands at about 17 and a half over the top of the head, and 18 if we're going to like his big shoulder pads and whatnot. And then for your inches, that means we are going up to a little over 7.1, almost 7.2 inches tall. Size comparisons.
He is Jolter, Yusei Figure Art, Son Goku, Revoltech, Yusei Fuudo, a Junk Synchron from the Series 3D Monster Collection Volume 2 pack, Figma Yugioh, the SH Monster Arts Blue Eyes White Dragon, Amakuni Stardust Dragon, and Darkside.
Overall look and detail. Well, first things first, I'm happy about the size. I didn't really know what to expect, and I think he lines up pretty nicely with Yusei, as he should be a lot bigger than it. So that's fine. Also captures the look, like the proportions, kind of wonky with the big shoulder pads, the small torso area. That all lines up fairly nicely. Now, what's not so great is the overall lack of paint. Every blue part is just blue plastic, and it's really shiny and it looks really plasticky, and I don't like it. And even the parts that are painted aren't even painted so well sometimes. You have the yellow on his forearm, where you can see the blue is still kind of bleeding through. It doesn't even fully cover it up, so not even that looks clean. So we do have some issues on hand. The face looks good. I mean, I love the red in his eyes. Even looks better with the ring light on now. So don't be confused about it. It doesn't look that good, but it's just the ring light that gives it this extra shine on it. But still, you know, shiny red metallic. I love the scarf, also how it's molded. Also seems like a little bit more shiny. Makes it pop. I mean, that makes sense for like anime type monsters and whatnot. I would usually say, well, the scarf shouldn't be so shiny, but come on, it's a giant robot thing. Have the engine on the back with some metallic. The paint is fine, you know, it's like this amazing Yamaguchi metallic, which is not like as sparkly as it is for like Figma or like SH Figure Arts, which is fine. I guess it's like a junk. The character is literally called Junk Warrior. It shouldn't be like super duper shiny. So as far as the rest of the mold goes, we also have these weird hinges on his arms on this side and on the other side. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why they did that. It's another one Revoltech kind of questionable choice, how I feel about it. And moving down to the chest area. And as you can tell, you know, as I move on the chest, you can tell he's rocking quite easily back and forth. Also like the hinge over here. Yeah, that also isn't so great. His arms, it's a little bit wobbly. So, long story short, the figure isn't really tight, especially like the upper part of it. Like even they have this joint where you can pull the head forward. It easily gets pulled back by the scarf, so that's another part. We have a look at the articulation in just a second, but yeah, figure isn't tight, especially for the upper part of the figure. Lower half is a little bit better on the leg department. There we have some more molded detail, a little bit more yellow, which is bleeding just a teeny tiny bit. And then moving down to his ice skating blades. I never noticed that he had those, but yeah, more metallic, shiny enough, and some more yellowish. Looks fairly clean, but overall, yeah, fortunately out of the gate, this guy is not the cleanest. Well, now let's talk about the articulation. First and foremost, as I told you, you do have the scarf on a ball hinge, so you can bring that up and down and rotate it. No problem. Obviously goes on both sides. You also have 2 ball hinges on the back of the engine, which all that accomplishes is this, which I'm really like, why do you make 2 ball hinges back to back to there and not just a hinge? Because why even do anything? It barely, like, just, yeah, okay, anyway. So then the head itself, without the scarf, doesn't really do much. It's mostly a swivel, has a teensy tiny bit of back and forth movement, and that's it. Now, of course, design-wise, you're not really allowed to do much more. They could have hollowed out the scarf maybe a little bit, but they tried to make the hinge in the middle, and what we get out of that is not great, because it doesn't hold the pose. It's too flimsy, and beep, beep, beep. Okay, kind of holds it, but depends on how the scarves are positioned also. So that one's not great. That one also goes back and forth and has a little bit of side to side. Obviously gets blocked by the big shoulder patch, which shoulder pads, not patch, but yeah, those are also on double ball joints in there. So it mostly moves up and down, and you can bring it side to side a little bit. But again, it's alright, I guess, but also doesn't really make that much room for some great poses. Then we have a joint in there for the shoulder pad, which you can move around. I think it's just on a ball, so you can rotate that around. And then the shoulder itself, the big ball on the shoulder, you can just on a swivel. We don't have another ball in there, and don't have a bicep swivel. Can bring this back and forth, but yeah, holding on to it, don't have a bicep swivel. And then you have the ball hinge in the elbow, which goes up and down. Obviously it's not really hindered that much. And then we have this weird hinge, which I guess gives it that extra level, and once you bring it all the way up, you're not gonna see it. It's fine. It's just like one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, because why not just make a bigger ball joint and kind of hollow this part out and put it in there, so you would have kind of made the same? I don't know. Now you would have hollowed this part out as well, so I guess that didn't work. I'm fine with that. So for the fist, you have that on a ball hinge. Can't even see that one, but does go up and down, makes a weird screeching noise. That one is nice and tight. Also, his brass knuckles can be moved around. Now for the torso, let me move his arms up. Goes back and forth, does tilt side to side, and does swing all the way around. Hip part can be, let me hold on to it, can be moved side to side, can be moved back and forth. Okay, I guess. I'm just trying to get all the bends out of this, but hey, you know, it's alright. Moves, leg moves out, leg moves forward, gets a high kick, leg moves to the back, makes an ugly screechy noise, and can be swiveled on the thigh. Has a double hinged knee, which is like one of the weirdest looking things ever. Why is the knee pad floating in midair? You can, if you bend it up, like, yeah, it lines up with this, but like, why design it like this? Why? So then we have this piece, which is floaty, it's just packed in on like a ball on the front. But the foot itself can be brought up and down and also tilted to side. Beautiful pivot, but the pivot doesn't really matter that much because, again, because of his ice skates, he can't stand on his own. Now for the accessories, there's not really much going on, as you can tell. I thought since they're doing a big guy, they're not gonna go big on accessories. So we do have the Revoltech base. By the way, this is just a Revoltech figure. This is not an Amazing Yamaguchi figure. I don't know what the difference is. I guess Amazing Yamaguchi guy kind of goes more crazy with articulation. But anyway, so here's the regular base. I think it has like an extra arm. Isn't it usually just like 1, 2? I don't know. Either way, have a nice arm on it. And then for the hands, we have one open hand and one kind of folded hand. And then we have, oh yeah, here's the folded and the open hand. I swapped the hands, but yeah, you basically got like one fully open hand and one a little bit like more posing. And by the way, like the brass knucks can't be moved around on these ones, which is weird. Seems like really stuck in there. Alright, so we have the brass knucks. And then finally what we have is Revoltech said, you know, maybe we can pose the figure without the base. They tried, and I don't know if it's gonna work, but you know, just basically supposed to slide this, like, let's see there where the ball joint is, slide this on his feet blade, and let's see if he can stand on it. Oh, it does actually work. Okay, that's impressive. I'm complaining so much about wobbly joints, but I guess the leg joints work, so that is supposed to hold up this entire figure. And it works, so you can pose him without the base. Good job. Final thoughts! I don't like this figure. I really wanted to like this figure, but I can't. I love 5Ds, and... so seriously, they nailed the design and they made him big. That's all the good parts. The bad parts, it's a floppy mess. The joints don't stay in place. His arm barely stays up. I like try to straighten out the arm for like go for the punch, but it's just falling down constantly. Nothing stays in place. The shoulders like to disconnect. It's just, you know, it's just a floppy mess. I don't need to go over every single joint. I think the entire torso is a joke. The arms are a joke. The legs are fine. The paint could be better, and generally speaking, there's a huge lack of paint. They didn't really bother with giving him much accessories, which I would be fine if everything else would be better, which it isn't. So at the price point, unfortunately, I cannot recommend this one. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for video reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Junk Warrior wants a better figure.